Welcome to SSPTV Community News. I'm Ken Cara here outside the Hazleton Area High School at the track and field complex, and I am with a state champion. Sam Guzman won the state AAA Javelin Championship. Congratulations, you're a senior here at the high school. Now these big numbers, I don't, in my brain I can't make sense of them. You're over 208 feet with that throw, right?
Yeah.
So for all of you at home, if you take a Boeing 787, I believe, and then just think of that, a Dreamliner, that's about 200 feet. Or if you go to Walt Disney World, Cinderella's Castle, if you lay that down, that's under 200 feet. That's crazy, unleashing those throws. How did you get into this sport? How did javelin become a part of your life? Let's go way back to the beginning.
Well, I started 7th grade, and my brother did track his 8th grade year, so I was going into middle school knowing, like, yeah, I'm going to do track. At first, I didn't throw jav. I just threw shot and disc. Okay. But at the end of the season, I'm like, I kind of want to pick it up. And, it was decent. I think my furthest throw, 7th grade, was like 100 feet flat. So going into my 8th grade year, I was like, I'm going to try to break the middle school jav record. That season got canceled, so I told myself, go for bigger things and work really hard to break that high school record.
Tell me a little bit about how did you improve in this? Like, when did you start seeing, okay, this is what I have to do to get better? How did you start honing the craft?
My sophomore year, going down to districts, I had no idea what the outcome was going to be, and it was probably my second to last throw. I popped to 170 to win districts and move on to state. So I was like, if I keep this up, if I keep up the hard work, I could become a state champion.
You have that success at districts, and it just seemed storybook this year. It just seemed like, okay, you go to this meet, and I think it was like the conference one, and you hit 200, and then you go to the D2 meet, and it's 207, you go to states, and it's 208. It seems storybook, and it seems easy maybe to someone following it. Can you sum up the hard work that kind of went into that so people kind of understand it doesn't just pop off and happen like that?
Throughout the actual regular season, always put in the work, and then once that season stops, a lot of people think like, all right, it's time to relax, I'll have fun, but no, it's once that season ends, that's when the real work comes in. A lot of your form, a lot of lift training, power lifts, explosiveness, conditioning, that plays a big factor into, that 208 throw. So it's not easy. It took a lot of hard work.
Patience. Is there some patience involved too, as you are putting in the hard work and you kind of have to wait to see the results, or can you tell? Is there any patience that goes into this?
Oh yeah, beginning of the season, I was actually coming off like a little back injury, so my throws were where they should be after like coming from basketball and not really throwing as much. But I let the year go by. I let my training work, and as you can see, the 208, it shows.
What's one thing you really did that you think, wow, it helped me improve? This was something I'm really glad I either worked on, mechanics or something. Was there something you really had to work on?
A lot of my mindset.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I liked to really think down if I did something wrong. But, if I had a bad throw, I made sure I'd stay up. If I, watch my throws later and I notice I'm doing something wrong, I was able to, instead of pout, work right away on whatever I'm doing wrong to better myself, that next meet.
What's one thing you remember from after winning the state championship, whether it was on the medal stand or seeing your family? What's something that's sticking out in your mind as we're a few days removed right now?
I had a big group of fans come down. I had a lot of my friends, my family, and just seeing them, seeing them happy. My mom was crying. It meant a lot to me.
Hazleton Area boys track and field coach Dustin Hauser joins me now, second year as the head coach with the program. What's your favorite Sammy Guzman story?
It's going to be his first throw at the state meet, the 208.8. To do that in his first throw, and that was amazing. But kind of watching the reaction of the athletes in the tent as that thing just got launched, and kind of looking over at the guys in the tent and just watching, it's like he just took their soul, and you just watch the air just come out of him, because to Sammy's testament, all eyes are on him, and so all those guys are looking at him, knowing that he's the number one seed. He's the only one coming in with a 200-plus throw, and to perform like that, they knew right there at that moment, okay, we're just throwing for second.
What was he like as a person as you get to know him?
For as good as an athlete and as a jab thrower as he is, he's an even better person off the track, in the building, and the way he carries himself, the way he is with his teammates, the type of leadership that he's had over the years, it's second to none. And so, he's going to be a huge loss for our program. But on the flip side, by him winning a state championship like he has, he's led the way he has. He acts accordingly in the building, and he's just an unbelievable person and athlete. Much like the guys last year, he's laid down a tremendous foundation and example for our young guys coming up. And we have a very talented young group of guys that are coming up. And by leading by example and showing those guys how it's done and how to become a state champion is only going to pay dividends with that young group. And so we are very fortunate to have an athlete and person like Sammy in our program that has just led the way the right way. And the way our track program is headed, I'm excited.
You had another athlete out there. Can you talk about him a little bit?
Yeah, Darren Saywell. I was just updating and looking through at our past marks for him, and the progress that he's made over the last couple of years in the vault has been amazing. And similar to Sammy, and he puts a lot of time and effort into mastering his craft, not only during the season, but in the off season. He goes to vertical assault regularly, which is not close. It's about an hour drive, and he takes that drive at least once or twice a week to go get some extra help, which has paid dividends for him. He's bought in, and he is I expect big things out of him next year and continuous success. But not only that, to kind of give you a testament to his athleticism, we threw him in discus this year, and he was a close to 120-foot discus thrower for the first year, just throwing him in to let's see what you can do. So, he's quite the athlete. He's another great kid. I mean, that's one thing. If you interview me now or in the near future, I can't say that enough about the kids that we have in the program. They're just awesome, and they're so much fun. It makes coming to practice and competing so much fun. And Darren's right up there with the best of them. So it's going to be fun to watch him progress and see what he can do next year.
What do you hope people remember about you and your run here at the Hazleton Area High School?
I want to make sure I leave now that we're leaving last day of school, I want to make sure I leave a good mark on the team, the program. Hopefully the next upcoming kids, even kids that are just starting kindergarten, could even if they hear about me and know you got to be a good character on the track and off the track. In school, got to be a good character, do what you have to do, your responsibilities, get your school done, and more of the having a good mindset and just being a good person.